Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. We're looking at really old stamp sets that we haven't brought out for a long time. This is one of my absolute favourites. It's called Faith in Nature. It was an old clamshell. I believe it's around 2011, 2012. So 12, 13 odd years old now. And this little leaf is again an absolute favourite of mine. So we are going to do a fairly clean and simple card using this lovely stamp. So we're going to do a bit of embossing. I'm doing some embossing in gold, and we're going to colour it, and it should look absolutely stunning. So I am going to you don't have to use VersaFine ink if you haven't got it. If you use a pigment ink like this, you can use this really quite quickly, and it will I'm just making sure that I do it quickly enough. So one there, and then I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to have another one in the middle like that. Okay, so I'm very quickly, before it dries, going to put this on here and put my gold ink over the top. So if you use a pigment ink, you don't have to buy VersaFine or anything like that. So you can just go straight over the top in any colour you want. You can also do it in clear if you just want it in clear. I just wanted it in in gold, because I wanted it to look really quite sort of opulent. Now I could have you can see I didn't use a bag of any sort, but you can see it's all been covered, and I can now put this straight back in on here. So, you know, use what you've got. You don't have to necessarily go and buy VersaFine ink and all the other things. If you've got any pigment ink of any sort, you can use that, because it's slower drying. And because it's slower drying, it means that you can use it quite easily. So I'm now going to just heat up my heating tool. And I always make sure that my tool is heated first a little bit, because if it's not heated, it takes longer for the ink and your card's more likely to warp. If it's had a chance to heat up a bit, it won't warp the card, because it works quicker. And can you see how, even though it was black, it's now beautifully gold. Okay, so that's taken that on, and I want 2 leaves down, 1 leaf up, I think. Or I might have 2 leaves up, 1 leaf down. It really doesn't matter how I've done it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my inks, and I'm using Old Olive, and I'm just going to squeeze it and get a little bit of ink in the inkwell. Might need to do that a bit more. Don't know quite how juicy this one is. Oh, there's a little bit in there. I think that'll probably be enough. And then with the certain celery as well, that's got a bit more in there. I'm going to use a water brush. Just see whether I can use that one. I think will be fine. Some of them are a bit, you get more water coming out of them than others. Have we got water in them? Bit of water in that one, isn't there? Have we got water in this one? Yes, there's a lot of water in this one. It obviously doesn't come out quite as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lighter, and literally I'm just infusing it inside. And as I say, I'm using this because it's paler. And then I'm going to use some of the darker. I'm just going to mix them up together, I think, because that's coming out beautifully. And it's quite nice to mix up different inks together. I'm going to have a little bit more of this because I can't quite like the darker colour. So let me just get a little bit more of the ink in the inkwell, which is fine. Mix that up, and then just need to go down on here. Now my light will make it shine quite a lot, so I'm just going to pick it up a bit like this, and then I can see where I've missed any of the pieces of the leaves. Okay, so that goes down like that. And again, all I've done is just stamped 3 images and inverted one of them. So again, if you haven't got this stamp set, use what you've got. It's very much use what you've got. These are just techniques and ideas, and I'm just using some of the old things I've got because I know that a lot of you have got old stamps and keep all your stamps. So I'm going to put this on a green, because I think that that will work beautifully. Now you can see I've got a little bit of buckling, but if you manipulate the card a little bit, you can get it flatter. And then that can go straight on there. And then there's a beautiful saying in this one which says, keep your faith in beautiful things, in the sun when it's hidden, in the spring when it's gone. And I think that that's really lovely. At the moment, it is absolutely hammering it down with rain, and it's the sort of thing that I would like to put as a little sentiment, just sort of down at the bottom on there. But if I did want to use the whole thing, I would use, let me just get a little strip. I'm sure I've got some strips about here. I always keep my strips and I don't use them all the time. Here we go. So there's a strip. And then I'm going to use black with this. And I'm just going to ink this up. Put this down in here. Like that. You've got the lovely saying in there, but if you didn't want to use the whole thing, which I don't think I would because it would be a bit big on this particular card, I'm just going to cut it down, and I'm just going to put the keep your faith in beautiful things. So let's see if I can take that. I might have to do it not completely straight because this F comes down. Can you see how it comes down? But then you can just take it down. And do the rest of it straight. And then I can take this one up here. And then I'm just going to do this same on the other side so that it balances. So I'm just turning it around just a little bit. And then I'm just doing that along there. And then that can go just down at the bottom like that. Now, if I wanted to, that's beautiful, clean and simple. If I wanted to just jazz it up a little bit more, which you know what I'm like, I like to add just a few little things. So you can use, these are Posca pens, which are just, but you can use any pens that you've got. So these, we've got gold, silver, black and white, and they're Posca, P-O-S-C-A. Ball bearing in them, give them a bit of a shake, do a little bit of a gold line round the side. And so you've got your gold embossing, and then we're just doing the sides in a little bit of gold. All the way around like this. And then I can take, we're going to have it that way up, won't we? I'm going to take this and I'm just going to add some speckles to it, which you know I enjoy doing. So just take this and you can get some nice goldy speckles coming through. You can turn it around on the other side. Coming through, but quite fine, which is okay. I don't mind them being fine. If I want them a little bit thicker, I can take, let me take this one and see if this is any thicker. I've got thick and thin nibs, and what happens sometimes is you need to shape the ball bearing, and then you need to just move the nib in a little bit so that it then, now can you see how it's coming out more? Okay, so I've done that, and then that's just added just a little bit in on there. So can you see you've got that gold coming through on there? Then if I put this in on here like that, put the little sentiment in at the bottom and just put that down. I'm going to wait for my splats to dry. You then have a really pretty simple card. Now if you didn't want it that way round, you can turn it up and put it the other way round. It's entirely up to you. So you can put it down on here that way, which I think is probably better because I think I've got it higher on the other side like that. Yes, that's better. And then it's straighter. So you don't have to be absolutely perfect with it. You're just doing them in different angles. So I hope that that was fun. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.